Hey, what is up guys? And today we're going to be talking about the ReZero collab units and if you guys should be pulling for them, and also about their artifacts as well, and if they are worth purchasing with your powder of knowledge or even chasing on the banners with your bookmarks. Now from what we know, these banners will be running separately, so it's going to be different from the Guilty Gear collab. You won't have to pull for them together. So if you just want to pull for one unit, you are in luck. You can just pull on that banner separately. Honestly, not a fan of how the Guilty Gear collab banner situation was done. But thankfully we have the ReZero collab banners separately. So first let's talk about Rem and her artifact. So Rem is pretty decent for PvE and also pretty good for PvP in certain situations. For PvE, she's really good at Wyvern 13 one-shot. That's probably the only area of content you'll use her outside of like Ancient Inheritance and like Automaton Tower, because she is so easy to gear there. And you can also bring Rem into a team that doesn't need Seaside Bologna or a maxed out drink artifact, so it makes her very valuable for new players, especially who are looking for a very easy Wyvern 13 one-shot option. The only downside is you will have to fully Mulagora her S3 and her S1, which means that you'll have to spend Samool there, whereas if you use like your Sigrid for one-shot and transition her from a normal team to a one-shot team, you will not have to really use any Mola. So pretty decent unit. For PvP, you can use her in an auto arena offense team. She's very good there. She's also good as like a Bellion counter if you guys are struggling to find one for both Guild Wars and Arena, and even RTA. The only thing is she is hard to use in World Arena and in a lot of situations because she's so weak to earth units such as like Rimuru, Violet. She's also very weak to Last Rider Crow and Rowana. So there are counters to her. She's not as broken as she was on release when she was, kind of rampant everywhere in PvP. But she does have a niche still, so she can be used. Now talking about her artifact, guys, this artifact, not that great. Azure Comet, not going to be really used on anyone. This can be used on like strays and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's only going to really be used on cleave units for warriors. But the thing is, there's just a lot of better artifacts out there for warriors that are going to do the job better. Instead of Azure Comet, most people actually like to run something called Merciless Glutton, because this will actually CR push the holder as well as the holder's allies as well. Whereas if you look at Azure Comet here, this will only push the caster, which is kind of bad. It will push you a lot more, but Merciless Glutton's just better because it's an AoE CR push, right? You get a lot more value that way. I think Rem as a unit is worth pulling for if you're new to the game and you're looking for a good counter to Bellions, like I said, in Arena. And if you're looking for a good auto arena team, if you're looking for a good carry unit that can carry you up to pretty much like champion and even further, then Rem is a very good auto arena unit. She's also going to be very good for people who want to get into Wyvern one-shot, but don't really have the rage set gear for like a Sigurd and stuff like that. And they don't have like Seaside Bologna or like drink maxed out, so it's very hard to get into it. Rem kind of deletes all of that those requirements, so it makes her a very good unit. Her artifact though, skip on it. Honestly, if you want it in case it gets buffed, you guys can buy it, but I think this artifact is pretty trash and not really used at all. You're gonna see for the usage statistics, not gonna really be used on anyone except like I said, strays and I guess Rimuru as well, but Rimuru is not gonna really be on this artifact anymore. Now for Emilia, guys, Emilia is going to be a pretty decent unit as well for PvE and PvP. Both these units have uses in both PvE and PvP, as you'll notice. They're just not like super OP in either of them. So for PvE, she'll be good in like Nightmare Raid for some bosses, also in some Abyss floors. And she's very good because she has an attack buff that gives herself CR as well as the ally and also cleanses. Her S3 is also very nice because it's an AoE cleanse. Also gives health and also a barrier, which is very good. That will scale with her max HP. Her S1 is pretty weak though, it's just a single target heal. But for the most part, you're just going to be using your S2 and S3 a lot. So the usual turn order is going to be S2 into S3 into S2, and usually the fight's over for PvP because she's very good in aggressive comps. But for PvE, you're going to see that she's going to cycle a lot more and need a lot more turns because obviously bosses take a lot longer to kill. For PvP, she's very good in Guild Wars offense. You can pair her with any nuking unit. So for example, a slow unit that needs a CR push, right? You can use her with a unit such as like a slow Kisei if you wanted. She's very good with Kisei. Kisei can do a lot of damage. She's also very good with units like Zahak if you have Zahak on a slower, more damage dealing centric build. Also very good with units like Landy to actually speed her up to get that CR push for your team. Good with units such as like S10A if you have her from the Moonlight Blessing. She's very good with her because S10As can get pushed up and one-shot a unit with their S3 and even S1 beforehand with Soulburn to actually do a lot of damage. You get what I'm saying. She's very good in aggression, but besides that, you're not going to really use her anywhere else in PvP. She's only good with, just aggressive units around her. Now, I think that she is replaceable though. She's not going to be like super broken because of the fact that we have a new unit that kind of power crept her for PvP, honestly, in Amid. Amid is kind of just a better Emilia because Amid has that AoE CR push, which, is just better than a single target CR push. And she also has an attack buff that she can use with her S3. And she also can be used on her artifact, which will give her critical hit damage buff as well. And then also you're going to notice her S2 gives skill nullifier, which is super broken as well. But for the most part, Emilia is still very good. And she is a good secondary option for CR pushing. I think she's very good to pull for as well if you're new to the game, because she will be a very good aggressive unit for you, because Amid's banner probably won't run for a while, and Amid is also not available from the story summon if I'm correct. So pretty decent unit, but if you skip on her, and even if you skip on Rem, it's not the end of the world. They're just good units for newer players. Now for artifact guys, Guardian Ice Crystals. This artifact is super good. I think out of both of the Guilty Gear and ReZero collabs, if there's one thing that you should get, it's going to be this artifact. Not only is it good on Emilia, it's good on every single Soul Weaver in the game. So if you look at the usage, you'll see pretty much Emilia, Destina, Rowana, Maid Chloe's use it a lot. You can use it on Ruel's, Diane's, just like every single Soul. I guess, you're only going to see Soul Weavers here because it's Soul Weaver exclusive, but it's good on every single one that you see so far. Like, it's not bad, and it's best in slot artifact for a lot of them. Like, it's probably the best for Destina. Actually, it is the best for Destina for sure. It's going to be the best for Rowana. It's going to be probably tied for the best for Maid Chloe with like Shaman's or Staff. Probably the best on Ruel for sure, actually. It's going to be the best on Diane. Just so many good options that can use this artifact because it's so powerful. It doesn't only give you effect resist, but you're going to notice that when an ally's health is 50% or less after being attacked, you will heal that ally based off the holder's max HP. Sorry, not the holder, but the ally that's attacked. So yeah, it's still very good though because it gives you a lot of healing, and this can proc every single turn, which is amazing. A lot of Soul Weaver artifacts have a long cooldown. As you can see, like stuff like Doctor's Bag, right, every 3 turns and stuff like that. But the thing is, this artifact is very good because you can provide healing to your team when it's not the Soul Weaver's turn. So even if the Soul Weaver gets stunned or silenced or something like that, you can actually still heal your team, which is very nice. I think this artifact is definitely a must purchase. And honestly, out of everything, like I said, this is like an artifact you can actually pull for multiple copies of and not be sad about using a lot of bookmarks for, because it's so good. The only thing is, if you're new to the game, just buy 1 copy. If you're in the late game and trying to get high rank in RTA, then it's definitely worth going for multiple copies of this because it is so powerful. I'm going to go for multiple copies for sure because it's so strong. But yeah, just to summarize guys, Rem, good for Wyvern one-shot, good for arena offense, for, auto teams. Her artifact, pretty trash, can be used on like Strays and I guess Rimuru, but not going to really be used on Rimuru anymore. And for Emilia guys, pretty decent for PvE. And for PvP, she's a good option as well to play for aggression. The only thing is you have units like a mid who can do her job as well, so just keep in mind she is replaceable. And then for her artifact, definitely want to pull this, or I guess buy it and then pull for multiple copies if you are into the late game and climbing RTA World Arena. If you're new to the game, just buy 1 copy for sure. Super strong. You can use this on pretty much any unit for PvP. For Soul Weavers, and in PvE it's still pretty good as well. That's pretty much it for this Shoujo Pull video though guys. Hope you guys found this helpful, and good luck with your summons. And as always, if you guys found this video enjoyable to watch, make sure you hit that like and also hit that subscribe button if you guys are interested in seeing content like this in the future.